Let me
All right, let's see.
You got it.
No, that's my wife's gonna bring me some. I'm getting some right now. Yes, girl. I really love your beret. Oh my goodness, I haven't worn a beret in so long. It just gives me like Black Power vibes. I love it. I love it. And then your looks on Instagram. So guys, okay, Bria. All right, so let's start. So I met Bria through a mutual follower. I think what caught my eye when I found your page was the mindfulness therapy. And I was like, ooh, because at that time I was trying to figure out how I can incorporate more mindfulness into my life. So I was like, oh, let me get it. And then of course your poster, I want a beret. Girl, you can check on Amazon. I'm sorry, I just read the comment. Yes. So where was I? Okay, yes. So I followed you because I'm an aesthetics freak. I love like pages that have really nice aesthetics. So I was like, oh, let me give her a follow. But when I really started following you and really checking out your posts, I was like, wow, like you helped me with so many. I think the one that really touched me is when you went to Dollar Tree, which is like my favorite, my favorite store. And you wrote out all the things that you were releasing and you smashed it on the ground. And I was like, oh my God, like I need to try this like yesterday because I felt the therapy within it, that therapeutic feeling of releasing something, releasing ideologies, emotions, anything, you know, it really touched me. So
I love
you guys, if you have, I'm sorry?
I said, I love hearing that, like hearing that, helping people.
Yes.
That just makes my day.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't already, make sure you are following Bria. She has amazing content, amazing. And if you like Bria, you can introduce yourself, tell everyone a little bit about yourself. How did you end up here with your master's? And let me in counseling, okay? Let everybody know, you know, what was your journey leading up to right now where you are at.
Yes. So hi you guys. It's me. I'm Bria with BriasCorner. Please follow my page. But so I'm gonna just start from the beginning. So really when I was an undergrad, my senior year, I realized that, you know what, speech pathology is not what I wanted to do. But I always knew that I wanted to help people and be of service. And I've always been told like I'm so easy to talk to. I give great advice, or I help, you know, I'm like a life coach to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I realized, okay, I feel like my purpose could be counseling. So I kind of looked into it. I looked at what I would be doing and I was like, oh yeah, this is my job. Like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I don't know if you've ever had to have this happen in life, but how everything just falls into place.
Yes,
like
alignment.
Everything just fell into place. Like my interview was super easy. I got accepted. Yeah. I went to school for free. It was like I didn't have to work really for anything.
Wow.
So I'm like, really what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes, a calling.
And that's what happened. So I got into the program and then I deal with a lot. Like I have Meniere's disease, which is an inner ear issue. And I had just went through a breakup. And one of the ways that I release things is sharing my story with other people, just because I know that I didn't go through it just for myself. It's to help other people. Mm-hmm. So I started this page. Literally, I had been thinking about starting it months ago, but I just kept psyching myself out. Like, no, Bria, nobody wants to hear what you got to say. Like, girl, let it go. Like, it's not that.
I feel you.
I kept doing it, and it has really been amazing. It has been life-changing, not just for like the people that see my page, but like for me as well. Like it's therapeutic for me to be able to share my story and for people to get something from it, because it allows me to open up a little bit more and all the things. So that's how I started BriasCorner, and it's been awesome. My followers, my supporters are amazing. I love everything about it. That's it.
Yes, thank you thank you so much for everything that you share, because trust me, I definitely feel you with regard to like, you know, telling your story and showing others how you are able to delve through and heal through and move through and be able to balance as well. And then also just, it's so beautiful to hear, you know, when you move in alignment and you move in your calling, how easy the process is. It's not, it may be challenging at times, but
Yeah.
for the most part, those hurdles, once it's for you, you can climb mountains, you know. It's nothing, you know. You reach to the top and you're like, wow, like I did that, you know. But really and truly, it's literally like just moving in alignment. And you know, I'm happy to know that, you know, this is something that you found, that, you know, you was like, oh, let me, you know, you were curious about it. And then, you know, as soon as you took that first step, it was like you were ready, you know. Everything was ready, everything just fell right into place. And here you are now. You got a job offer.
Yes.
Wait, I wrote these notes, girl. To do free counseling services and care group assessments for people in Tennessee. Am I mistaken?
Well, yeah. So when I first started BriasCorner, I was actually in school. And so a part of my internship was that I could offer free services to, you know, anybody really.
Okay.
I gave assessments and different things like that. Thank you so much, you guys. I see the comments so much. Um, so I just offered free services to them, and it just became a way for me to get better in my profession, but also helping them. So it was a super, super great opportunity.
Yeah.
And like further going on with how things were just happening so easily, someone told me about this job, and it's literally my dream job, working with low income first generation students. And I love higher education. I love high school students. By higher education, I feel like I bond with those young adults just so well.
Mm-hmm.
And so literally, I put in an application one day, had the interview the next day, and got the job the day after that. Like,
Wow.
it was so, like,
Wow.
let me know, like, this is really God's, like,
Yes.
way of, you are on the path, girl. You're doing
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
And so that's what I'll be doing. And I'm nervous and excited all at the same time.
Yes.
But that just goes to show you, like, how the path is really just laid out for me.
Yeah. Something that I heard was, because I get nervous, I get really nervous too, so I can definitely relate, like, especially when you're starting something new, or maybe revisiting something that you love. You're going to be nervous, but nervousness is literally when you're about to step into something great, you know. This is what it looks like, doing what you love. Yes, literally. And it's so inspiring. Bria's story is so inspiring, guys, like so inspiring. But yes, you know, yes, when you're nervous about something, that's literally because you're going to step into something great, you know. So the nerves is that, you know, the nerves is something that's holding you back. Could be a little doubt, you know, anxiety, and it's fine to be nervous. Like, something that a mantra that I've kept to myself, and I say to myself a lot, is to do it scared. If you're nervous, just do it. You know, do it scared, because you never know what's on the other side. And I always believe that when God places you in a specific position, whatever's on that other side is beautiful. You know, and you may not see it, but you know, that faith is what, you know. So yes, girl, yes. So we're gonna get into this chat now, because I see people coming in. Okay, hey guys, hey, thank you for joining us. Hello, happy Sunday. If you guys haven't already, this is Bria. Bria is a mindfulness expert. That's what I'm gonna call you, girl. A mindfulness expert. She has her she just recently graduated her master's in counseling, and now she's elevating and evolving into her dream. So this chat today, we're gonna be talking about balancing into 2021.
Yes.
Lord child, let me take a sip of wine, because 2020
2021, girl, get your sip.
2020 was unexpected.
A little bit. Yeah.
Unexpected. And now here comes the holidays. Even right now, today, I'm still like, wow, Christmas is coming up. To be honest with you, I haven't gotten anybody gifts. Nobody's in the house right now, so I'm glad they didn't hear that. But nobody hasn't gotten any gifts, and I just feel like Christmas is nearing, and I'm getting a little anxious, and then I'm going through the little motions. And I know I've also seen on social media a couple of my friends, people that I know that I'm friends with on social media, they are going through, and also with the seasons changing, people tend to go through a seasonal depression.
Mm-hmm.
I relate to having seasonal depression. You know, I lost my younger brother, so around the holidays it kind of makes me a little sad because I wish he was here. But I try to push through and be as happy, but sometimes it's hard for me to recognize what when I'm actually depressed or when I'm actually anxious, because I can function and be depressed, you know. So sometimes I can't recognize it. So my question, what maybe you'll be able to help us, I don't know if I'm alone in this, but
No.
how do you recognize when you're going through emotion of maybe a depression or anxiety, especially during the holidays, the seasons? I'm originally from Brooklyn, so I know right now in Brooklyn, you know, it's not, the weather is not really bright and sunny. You know, we do have snow, it's cold, you're not really wearing, it's not that much sun.
Yeah.
So I know the environment, it's kind of hard to be the sun when your environment isn't really too bright, you know. So how do you, first off, how can I recognize, or how can we recognize that we're going through maybe a depressive moment or an anxious moment?
Right. So depression is one of those things that it's really for the individual person. So what may be depressing for me may not be depressing for you. I'm the type of person, I'm an extrovert. And so when I'm not feeling bubbly, or I'm just feeling like I want to be in bed all day, or not really feeling like being around people, that's an alert for me. I'm like, okay, something is going on with me, because this is not my normal. But also, like you said, you're anxious a lot. Like when you get anxious and, you know, you're antsy, and, you know, you may be having an attitude at certain things or snap out. A lot of times that can be depression, but I'm not going to say depression. It could just be that your body is recognizing something is not the same. So when you say your brother during that time, even though you may not consciously be thinking of it, it's still something that your body and your brain is registering. Like, oh, 3 years ago, I was with my brother, and like, I'm super sad about it.
Yeah.
And even try to block out a lot of those things, it's still in our subconscious mind. And so we're still feeling those things. So that is how you really know. You'll get a trigger of, this is different. I'm not acting the same. I'm really sad, or, you know, I'm really not feeling my normal excited self like I normally do.
Okay.
And so that requires you to check yourself, like, okay, well, what's going on? During these moments, you have to be very transparent and open with yourself. Not saying that you have to talk to someone about it, but saying, okay, girl, you acting different. What about today is different? What is making you so anxious? What is upsetting you? And, you know, being transparent and intentional in the moment.
Okay, you definitely, okay. Yes, like I check myself, but sometimes I check myself and I get it, where it's like, cause I get it, I'm an introvert. So, well, let me not say I'm an introvert. Well, I am an introvert, really and truly. So I like to close myself off when I'm not feeling me. So maybe that's something that I do need to make note of, even if I write it down and say, okay, Ed, when you're normally an introvert, you normally don't really go out and talk to people, but when you're feeling extra like you're in a shell, maybe there's something, you know, there's something wrong. So checking in, that's definitely, I have my book. I don't know if you guys have a book. If you don't have a book, I love to take notes. I'm about to take that note
Really
right now.
good.
Yes, I'm going to document that right now, where it's like, yeah, check in with yourself, you know, check in and just say, hey, how are you feeling right now? Mind, body, spirit, you know.
And be honest with yourself. A lot of times we check ourselves like, okay, well, how are you doing? And we'll still say okay to ourselves, but be honest with yourself. Nobody is around. You can definitely say, you know, I'm really not doing well right now. Yeah. And be honest.
And okay, so now I recognize that I am more introvert or more closed off when I am going through an emotion of some sort. So what are ways now that I can respond to probably alleviate that emotion that I may be going through, so that it doesn't, because me personally, I used to allow things to affect my entire day. So something can happen at 8 o'clock in the morning, and 6 o'clock at night, or before I go close my eyes, I'm still in this rut from this thing that happened this, 8 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, sometimes I feel like I'm being unfair to myself because I'm not allowing for something new or something, to happen. But it's because I feel like I don't know how to respond. How do I try to not ignore my emotions, but try to get myself out of it and say, okay, that happened there. Whether there's a solution or not, the solution will happen whenever. How can I move forward and not allow this to affect me to the end of the day?
Right. And I'm happy you brought out the part that, I'm doing a disservice to myself by still being upset about that. And
Yes.
honestly, thinking about it, I'm doing a disservice to myself is a really, really important part. But this is where the mindfulness key comes in. You have to change your mindset. And I'm not going to say that the next time you have a bad day, you're going to be able to cut it off. It's something that is learned. So you're going to have to teach yourself, okay, this is how I am. I have an attitude for the rest of the day. What is something that can change? Whether it's doing some self-care, whether it's doing some self-reflection. Okay, why am I upset? What can I do to get out of this rut? I love self-care. Self-care is a thing and it's great. It is not just self-care isn't going to the spa and things of that nature, but self-care, taking care of yourself, taking care of your mind. So in that moment, writing down, journaling, this is how I feel, getting those emotions out there. A lot of times we harbor these emotions and we stick with them all day because we haven't got them out in the open. We're just constantly thinking about it all day. Just be intentional with yourself and saying, this is how I feel in this moment. This person upset me. It is what it is, and I have to move on. You wrote it down, so if you need to revisit it, you can at a later time, but that was then, this is now. But I'm not saying the first time you try it, it's going to work. It takes practice. And I think a lot of times people misunderstand that, oh, well, she said all I have to do. No. I'm saying it's something that is practiced and it's learned. So if you continue to do it, it'll become a whole lot easier. But it's all in changing your mindset. It's all in the way that you look at things.
Okay.
And then once you put it to the side, you realize, you know what, that wasn't even a big deal. I forgot about it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because sometimes, as I look back and I reflect on the times where I did allow the thing to affect me for so long, now that I think back about it, I'm like, oh, it's just a little thing. Somebody said something, but really and truly, don't take offense or don't take it personal. Don't let it affect your day because it may not even be you. Or so. Yes, definitely. And I love to journal.
Yes.
Journaling. I tell everybody if I can, I'm like journal. And I swear, journaling. But that's the thing as well. Sometimes when I'm in a rut, I love to journal, but then when I'm in that emotion, that wave of whatever, I cannot. It's difficult for me to be able to open up my book and write down exactly how I feel, because I know sometimes maybe what I'm saying in my head or how I'm feeling, even though yes, it is temporary. I don't want to say I don't want to read it. It's just, it's difficult, challenging for me to be able to say I don't like the fact that X, Y, and Z did this. It makes me, it's harder for me to get to my journal when I'm in those emotions. So besides journaling, or if there's some people out there that they feel like they don't have time to journal, which I believe, taking time out for yourself, even if it's 5 minutes, it matters, it definitely matters. So for those who probably don't want to journal, don't want to get into journaling, what other ways can, you probably, I've seen a post. I don't want to bring out the post, but I've seen the post. It was a recent one. What are some other ways that we could probably get over this anxious feeling that we may have, or maybe a depression, or maybe just being sad, or you just feel like blah, I just feel blah.
There are many ways.
Some other ways?
My post. It can be just stepping away from it. So taking a nap. I know, just like you may not have time to journal, you may not have time to nap. But napping is super important, just because a lot of times when we're anxious, depressed, or just really just not feeling like ourselves, our body needs rest. And I know that you're like, that doesn't make sense, but it really is. We do so much. You think of all the things that we do in a day. Of course, your brain is tired. You've been going since 6 o'clock in the morning. Give your brain time to rest. But also, talking to yourself is so important. So if you don't have time to journal, go to a quiet place and rationalize with yourself, okay, Bria, why are you upset? What's going on?
Like I seen a meme where
Super
it's like
important.
me having a meeting with myself.
Right.
Just me with 3 different me's just having a meeting.
Ooh, yes. And I think it's so important. And a lot of people think it's so weird. And a lot of times in therapy, we do these types of exercises where you are talking to yourself, because the most important relationship you have is with yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
people rely on other people so much for their happiness, just
Oh,
for things, that we forget the fact that we are what matter the most. So when I say talk to yourself, I literally mean like sit down and like talk to yourself. Like, hey girl, what's going on? Because we also find it very hard to talk to other people. It's just a thing. We feel like they'll judge us. We feel like they won't understand where we're coming from. They may tell our business. It's so many different things. That's why talking to yourself is so, so very important. And so
yeah.
those are like the 3 things I'll say.
Yes.
But check out my post for some more.
Yeah. So the post that I was referring to was the dancing post.
Oh, yes. You have to like, listen, y'all. Dancing is a way of, like, I can't dance at all. I have no rhythm. But on me some Lizzo or whatever, and I am going, just because it's just a way to release stress. And after that 4-minute song, you're just like, okay, well, why was I upset?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
Yep,
always happening.
depending on how you move, you're sweating, your physical body in the same sense responds to it, where you're sweating or you probably move a specific way and you just feel like, wow, it's a release. Definitely. I was referring to that dancing post because it, just looking at that post alone gave me so much energy. I was like, oh, I ought to play some music myself because I love to dance. Like dancing, even if you're twirling around, like, I don't know if you remember, like, growing up and watching Disney Channel, and you'll see like the girls jumping on their bed and they're playing whatever song and they're waving their hands in the air and they're like literally like dancing and twirling with their friends and just living their life. And it's like literally it's a release. Like it's such a a liberation after you literally dance to whatever song you may like, your favorite song. It's a response to your body that you just feel well, like feel better. Like, is it endorphins? I'm not don't quote me, but those tend to activate, and now you're no longer in that mood that you're in, that you were in, before. So, Bria,
Okay, there we go. You see me?
okay, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, my Wi-Fi was going in and out. Okay.
Oh, okay. Just making sure we're good. Okay, yes, we're good. So yes, dancing is something that, and also I realized too, I'm trying to more connect with my my little Ebony. And when you were 3, 4, when you were
Yes.
7, when you were
Life was
8, like any song, you were just twirling and dancing and having fun. And literally, I think with dancing too, you kind of you're not thinking about like the present or the past. You're in the presence of this sound that helps you so much, it's a connection, with your body, that it's really good. It's really good. So yes, dancing, journaling, meet with thyself, because I'm like, Ebony, Ed, what's good? What's going on? You good? And sometimes the left of me be like, nah, I'm not good. And the right of me is like, well, you got to get over. You understand? And even though it may seem crazy, yes, checking in with yourself is something that you should definitely do every single day. You can't really avoid those emotions that come up and those feelings that you may have. And, yes, the environment may not be desirable enough to just automatically feel it, feel that vibe of being happy, but always try to keep checking in with yourself, because at least you'll be able to recognize and not divert, recognize, sit with it, and then heal, move forward from it.
Exactly.
Yes. So yes, the next one that we were going to talk about. So I was doing some research on your page, and then I followed Shannon.
Yes.
Shannon? Yes, I followed Shannon, and I was going through her page, and I read one of her posts. I actually shared it, where it's like, I'm not going to answer the phone. And she put in her caption one of your quotes that says, it's not personal, but it's personal.
Personal, but it's personal.
It's not, and girl, that hit me. I was like, ooh, you just spoke to me for me.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
That's BriasCorner's quote.
It's not personal, but it's personal.
But it's personal.
Definitely. So within the holidays now, you know, first off, this year with the pandemic, everybody having to stay home and quarantine, it's already has been a struggle with dealing with boundaries, because now there's no longer an outlet for you to go to work and then you come home. Everything is at home. So now the holidays are here. School's out for the time being, but the holidays are here. Some people may be having family coming over. Some people may be traveling to family. And family, I love my family, but not all, you know, sometimes there's certain family members or certain people that may say certain things that may trigger me. And or even just in the household, even if it's just the household that you're living in, sometimes you just need to be able to have that time for yourself. So with boundaries, when I first seen that, the quote, it's not personal, but it's personal, I automatically thought boundaries. Creating that boundary of maybe traveling over to a family member, or having family members come over, and you know that they're going to say something or do something that may be triggering to you, to your growth, to your health, to whatever. So how is some ways that we can probably start establishing boundaries even from the season, you know, for the season now, and then also carry them into 2021?
Yes. So like you said, boundaries are super important. And a lot of times it's just hard for families. It's hard for a lot of older family members to know that you've grown up. Like certain things that you can't say. I know in the African American community, like grandparents, they really say what they want to say. It is what it is. But building that boundary, and a lot of times it's hard when dealing with family members, because you don't want to burn that bridge, or you don't want to say something that you're, you know, going to regret in the future, if you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
So you're going to have to change your mindset. So you're going to have to realize that it's not personal, but it's personal, as in it's not personal to you. But when you say something to me, if I'm a little standoffish from this point, or if I redirect you and say, well, you know, that wasn't nice, them understanding. So to further explain my point, because I feel like that was not understood.
No, I understood what you were saying. Yeah, but yeah, but I would like for you to elaborate, especially on that quote, it's not personal, but it's personal, because part of me felt like, yes, girl, yes, but then a part of me was triggered where it's like, how do I not make, I understand that it's personal for me, but I also don't want to hurt somebody else's feelings, or have somebody feel, you know, their perception of me because I created this boundary, you know.
Exactly. And once you get to the point where you only care about your healing and what you have to do, and it's not saying that you're trying to be just disrespectful to other people, but it's not personal, like, to you. There's nothing against you, but it's personal for me, like for my well-being, for my sanity, for my peace of mind, for my mental health. And so at the end of the day, me has to come first. So just letting them know it's really not personal. It's nothing that you've done. You are you, and I get it. But for me, it's just not. I'm sorry. And once you understand that and really take heed to that, I think that it'll be so much easier for you to say no. And to me, a no is a complete sentence. Like, I don't have to explain myself to you why I can't go to this. I don't have to explain, you know, why this doesn't work for me, or why you shouldn't say this to me. It's no. And that, you know, and that just goes back to my earlier point with saying, and this is so very important, and I stress this a lot, the relationship you have with yourself is so important, because then you won't let people disrespect you or allow toxic people in your lives, if that makes sense.
Amen. No, that's true. It's true, because I'm currently reading The Mastery of Love.
Okay.
The name of the the author, but he mentioned, you know, with regard to you, in relation to you saying, to your point about having that relationship with yourself, he says that, you know, we as humans, we put ourselves around people, we are ourselves sometimes, because we are judgmental towards others, we're judgmental towards ourselves, and we sometimes abuse ourselves. He uses the word abuse, and we abuse ourselves, and then in turn we surround ourselves with people who are going to abuse us the same, if not more,
Not
then
more.
we abuse ourselves. And the moment that we stop abusing ourselves is the moment that we will stop having other people abuse us in any which way or form, because you know within yourself, this is my boundary within. So therefore, it's going to translate on the outside as well. So
Exactly.
definitely, I felt that where it's like, no is a complete sentence. Yes, no is a complete sentence. You know, it may upset your aunt, but she's gonna have to sit back within herself and say, well, what was it that made me feel like I needed Ebony to do this thing for me, even though she said no? You know, maybe I need
Exactly.
to understand her boundaries, and that's not your problem. That's
And
not my problem. You know, that's something that I have to keep reminding myself that, sir, you say no to somebody and they get in their feelings, that's not your problem anymore.
right. And that's an important point, because once you create boundaries for yourself, it allows people to realize how they can treat you in the future. So
Yes.
once you set out that boundary, like it's a non-negotiable, I will not be treated this way. It allows people to think, oh, okay, well, I can't do this to Ebony. Let me move on to somebody else. So,
Yes.
so it's very, very powerful, but you have to set that non-negotiable first for people to really take you seriously.
No is a full sentence. I'm writing that one down again. This is probably like my third time this year, but it's fine. But practice makes better practice.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes. 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 So, I'm sorry. Give me one moment. Yes, it's not personal. Okay. So now, what's one thing that crew is about growing into your femininity.
Okay.
I myself, my personal, just a synopsis of me. I grew up in Brooklyn. You know, my mom, she was a single mother. She had to do what she had to do to make sure my brother and I were healthy, in good wealth, get, you know, educated, everything. And growing up, I never seen my mom really move in a, she's moved in a feminine aspect, but not how I envisioned it to be, or not envisioned. And I don't want to say the correct way either, but just moving on her feminine, more on her feminine energy. It was more of the masculine, where it was do, logic, 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 forget about emotion, forget about any of that. And I grew up thinking that that was how I had to live, until it kind of destroyed me. I use the word destruction because there is beauty in destruction always. That's one thing that I'm a firm believer on. And so now I learned how to grow, and I'm still growing in my femininity, day by day. It's not, it's ebbs and flows, but either way, it's beautiful. So one thing that I love to ask people on a random tip, and even myself, you know, what is your definition of growth?
Mm-hmm. So growth is many different things. So growth happens like just in general because we grow with age. But growth is also something that is mental. So like how you said, you went from, thinking that this is the way that you live your life, to when life happens to you, it changes you, and then you grow into what you're supposed to be.
Yes.
So I don't know if I have a complete definition of what growth is. I've never really taken the time. It's just I know how it looks.
Yes.
I know that
Or
you can be.
how would you define growth? Not even just your definition. Like what is your, just based off of, you know, the things that you've been through, how you have grown into
Yes.
this beautiful, spectacular, amazing woman that you are now. What is your definition of like true growth? You can use a quote, you can say like a word, like anything that comes to mind when you think about like growth.
Yeah. So when I think of growth, I think of my like affirmation that I use like every day is whole, even in the midst of my struggle. And before, I'll say 3 years ago, I did not think that way. Like I thought that my struggle was it. Like I thought that I was not the person that I was supposed to be, or not where I was supposed to be. Everything was falling apart. But no, seriously, in this moment, I am whole. Even in the midst of that I deal with in life, like so many great things are happening, but I am still whole. Like I am lacking nothing.
Amen.
And so that's what I use sometimes as the growth, because I look at myself, how I was 3 years ago in a relationship that wasn't working for me, just being broken down every single day. So growing now that it's like I'm not accepting anything but the best, just
Period.
because it just is what it is. I mean,
Period.
it's just hard for me now.
Yeah.
So that would be like the growth.
Okay, and then also, so going into your femininity, how do you celebrate, honor and like nurture your feminine self?
Mm-hmm.
So,
So
go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go
Oh,
ahead.
no. Okay, so like when I say feminine energy, yes, you can like, yes, I do my nails, yes, I do my hair, yes, I do my makeup. But also like for me, how I nurture and honor my femininity is being able to sometimes just sit back and like just receive.
Mm-hmm.
So not asking, or maybe not even not asking, because that's another struggle. So yes, asking, and then being able to sit back and willingly receive. That's how I honor my, how I nurture my femininity is, I try to at least every night before I go to bed, I get coconut oil, and I just rub myself down, and I'm like, you are blessed. I say affirmations over my life as well, like, over myself. You are good. You did well today. I'm proud of you. I love you.
Yeah.
How I celebrate my femininity. I would say I dance. Like I'm Guyanese. My parents are Guyanese, so we're from the Caribbean. So like I'll play some soca and I'm winding my waist and I'm like, oh yes, and I'm shaking my hips because I know that's what keeps me flowing at that feminine energy, instead of having to be in a masculine, where back in Brooklyn, I just used to do, forget my emotions, cry about what, there's no reason for me to cry,
Uh,
now I cry. That's another way that I honor
yes.
my family, being able to let the tears. I listened on a podcast, not only crying and wiping your eyes, but allowing the tears to flow down, because there's some type of healing that comes with allowing the tears to flow down your face, So how do you, Bria, able to nurture, honor, and celebrate your femininity?
Yes, the first thing that came to mind is what you just said, like allowing my emotions. So crying. I used to be like back in the day, I was just kind of like just harbor my feelings. So like not allowing myself to cry for certain things. But now I cry at the drop of a hat. Like if I lose, like I'm emotional.
What's
Like
your sign?
you said what now?
What is your sign?
I'm a Leo.
Oh, you're a Leo.
Yes.
Wow, I've never seen Leos are like very like headstrong. I've never really
I
heard like
know.
of a Leo that likes to cry. They're like, cry what? I need to
Wait,
dominate right now. Forget about crying.
no, I cry. Sometimes like you just have to. But that I feel
Yeah.
like that's a lot of my feminine side because people always say, "Oh, well, women are so." Well, it's not even that. It's just I'm in touch with my emotions.
Yes.
But also, like when I was younger, I didn't wear makeup. I know you said it wasn't about hair and things, but I didn't wear makeup. I didn't do my hair. I didn't do all these things. But embracing that feminine side of me is like learning how to do these things, learning how to put on a dress that kind of sculpts my body. But also being aware that even though I am a feminist, like I can still do so many things. And
Yes.
like I'm great at pretty much anything a man can do. I can really do it.
Yes.
Um, Not that I prefer to do it, but it's
No,
just
but you can. Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely. Oh wow. Okay, cool. So I'm sorry, the wine got me a little but
It's fine.
yes. Yes, yes, yes. So definitely, like I feel you with the, with crying, and then in a sense, just now how you mentioned with the makeup, I say it's not that, but who am I to say that? Because I've already embraced that side of me of being able to do a face, sitting on YouTube and like, oh my god, I need to do a face, or like getting my hair done, like even with my locks that I just started growing over a year ago,
Oh wow.
yeah, it just pushes me to be more feminine, because when you start off your locks, it's not as long as you want it to be. It's not like Rapunzel overnight. So there are times that you tend to look a little boyish. So it's like, all right, what can I do right now for myself in the physical aspect to make me feel more feminine? Because although my hair, even doing my hair in a specific style will make me feel more feminine. So, you definitely, not, I don't want to say humble, but you definitely brought awareness to me about like, yes, for some women, it's not all women, but for some women, yes, it is sitting down and taking that extra 15 minutes to beat your face to the gods. It is that taking that extra time to probably flat iron or lay down your wig, do something cute, pick out a cute outfit, a color that makes you happy. So yes, femininity is also on the outside, doing things on the outside to make you feel good on the inside. You know,
Exactly.
once you have that feeling on the inside and it gives you that sense of pleasure, you know, it's a definitely win-win situation. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna open the floor to any questions anyone may be having. Oh, I think there was one more thing that I didn't write, but I forgot about that. It was a quick, we could talk about it really quick. Social media pressures. So it's 2020. It's about to be the end of 2020. And you know how the posts go. The post goes with the seasons. So as we're in the fourth quarter now, everybody's like, go, 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 because we need to be great as soon as 12 o'clock on the dot, January 1st, 2021. We have to be great. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing less, nothing more. And if I'm not great, if I'm not part of the greats on that day, it's like, oh damn. You know, social media has a lot of influence on people, on their lives, on their emotions, the way they think, the way they dress. It's a lot of affluence and influence too. How can I sometimes I feel it and I have to say, all right, let me get off Instagram, because right now 3 posts is telling me that I need to get up and do something, and it's like, I am doing something, but it's like, what more do you want me to do? You know, I'm doing everything that I can do, but how can I be able to prioritize myself and say, okay, what social media, what somebody else's wave may be, because somebody else may be in a different situation, and they are in a different situation and environment than you. So they may have the tools and resources to be able to get to the next level and be ready for fourth quarter to jump into 2020 and just be great. But not everybody has access to those resources as of yet. So how can I kind of isolate? I don't want to say isolate, but how can I like center myself and keep focused on what I'm doing and saying, listen, your plant may be blossoming right now, but I'm still sowing my seeds to make sure that 2021, my growth is going to be not only flourishing, but it's going to have some type of ground to it, a strong grounding to it.
Right. And that is so timely that you said this. I made a post not that long ago about reasons not to give up. But so I'm gonna answer the first part of your question. So the New Year resolution thing, and this is just a personal thing, I think it's great to go into the new year thinking, okay, I'm gonna do these great things. But why can't you start today? Like, why is it, like, if you want to do better with, let's just say, gardening, why can't you do that today? Why can't you look at it like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna start on a diet? Like, why do you have to wait until the new year? The new year, I just think it's really overrated, and that is a personal thing. Not to say that it's bad to do it. I think it's great to look forward to something in the new year, but I'm all about doing it now.
Yes.
I'm all about, why put it off? Why put off something that you can do today?
Yeah,
when you
exactly.
can do it right today, you can do it today. It's like, do it now. Like, you said, do it scared. Do it when you don't know everything about it. It's everything you do is still going to be a learning process. So why can't you do it today? I think New Year resolutions are awesome, and I don't want anybody to misunderstand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I also like to bring up the point with, okay, instead of waiting to January the 1st, why can't you do it today?
Today, or if not tomorrow. Yeah.
Start on it tomorrow.
Exactly.
And then once you do it like that, it doesn't put so much pressure on it. Okay, on the new year, I have to do it. Like, you can mess up as many times that you want to, because when you're learning something new, like if it's losing weight, if it's learning to be more accountable, if it's going to therapy, if it's even making your own garden, like, it's going to be a fail, pro, con process. Yes. So let's do it today. But also, it's so much pressure, like I just mentioned, it's just so much pressure on that. I feel like January the 1st just has so much pressure, and it's like, why? It's literally just another day. And we're starting a new year, and we're so blessed to be going into that new year. It's still, we have to be present in this moment and not put things off until next year.
Definitely.
But also, the other part of your question was looking at other people and them bearing their fruits. I also made a post not that long ago when I was graduating. When I was an undergrad, I literally failed one of my classes, and I had to stay back a whole semester. And not that I didn't do great in college, but it was just this one class that, and this it's not that he didn't like me. It's just I think he saw my potential, and he just would rip my papers apart. And so
Wow.
graduate that year and I didn't graduate. And I just remember thinking, I'm such a failure. Like, you're not going to be able to do great at anything. And I remember me sitting in his office and he told me, you're not going to do good in a master's program. He's like, you probably just need to go be a motivational speaker or something that he told me. And I remember thinking like, well, maybe I need to do that because he's a professional and he told me that this would not be for me. And I was looking at everyone around me get into master's programs, doing great, finding jobs, making money. And it was me. I was working at a daycare and like didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And I was looking at other people bear their fruit. But I worked hard. I was so on it. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to take his no, as the rest of my life. And honestly, listen to him, I literally would not even be talking to you right now. Because
Yeah.
somewhere lonely, sad, looking a little crazy. What he said. But I feel like this is my season that I have bared my fruit. So on here that needs some encouragement, look at my life, okay?
Yes,
I
yes,
was
yes.
a million times, and even though I knew I was just an incredible young lady, everybody doesn't see you that way. Everybody is not going to give you an opportunity. Everybody is not going to say, oh, well, it's your turn, I'm going to be that person for you. You honestly have to make your lane for yourself, and so you have to do it.
Yes.
But also in that same breath, thinking of reasons that you can't quit. You have other people that are looking at you. You have other people that need you to win so that they can win. And
Ooh.
I know with me being a therapist, I know that I've helped so many people. And it almost is scary to think, had I not done this, I wouldn't have been able to reach these people. And they
Yeah.
probably would have healed, or they may have chosen suicide, or so many other things. So you think other people that are coming behind you. Even though it's about you, it's also about the other people.
Yes.
And I know a lot of us, and especially you're someone that wants to help people. You want to use your journey and your story for others. So let that just be your main reason not to give up and not to look at other people and what they're doing, because they may not even be happy with what they got going on. Focus on being happy with your life, what you're doing, do what the creator has allowed you to do. And it may not happen today and it may not happen tomorrow, but it's gonna happen.
Amen. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Yes. Speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it, sis. Because I feel you. I definitely feel you. I'm pretty sure we've all been there where we've had this one challenge that we felt like, we couldn't overcome. And then on top of that, to have people project their fears and their failures and the things that they didn't get to do, the things that they were, to put that on you on top of this challenge, sometimes it feels like that's the end all be all, that's it. I just got to do what this person said because, it seems like, but also making sure that it's like, your why is always important. The why is personal. The why could be anything, but it has to be a why do you want to do it? Why God, why did you give me this message? Or why did you give me this? Why did you put me in this seat? You understand? In this position where it's like, I don't really know much, but I'm learning, and also too, because I know like growing up, I feel you when you say like he ripped up the papers because it's like he saw something in you that you didn't see in yourself. I used to think I was getting picked on in school. Like, why doesn't this teacher like me? Like, I'm doing the best. I'm doing amazing. Like, I'm excelling. I'm busting my ass. You're asking me for 5 pages. I'm giving you 6. Like, why like, what's going on? What happened? But then now that I'm older, it's like, yeah, sometimes people see, and it's weird how people do it too, because it's like, for him to see the greatness in, because I'm pretty sure he did see that greatness. He did see you sitting here in this position right now that you're in. It's just some people don't know how to say it. They don't know how to say you're going to be great. So understand that this is me coming. It's coming from a place of love, because I know and I see how big you can become, bigger than what you think you can. Instead, they will do it in not so nice ways that kind of dampens your confidence. It definitely does. So I feel you on that, but definitely, like, I agree with what you're saying, where it's like, reasons not to give up, reasons not to, you want to help people, and you just got to keep pushing, no matter how hard it may be. There may be a door closed, but there's somewhere, another one open. All you have to do is turn around And it's hard. It's difficult to turn around because you're like, shit, you know, this door just closed. Like, what am I supposed to do? But,
Exactly.
you know, all you got to do is look around and see what other opportunities that's in alignment with what you need, what God, you understand, wants you to do, you know, because we're all here for a reason.
Exactly. And I tell people all the time, you will bear fruit for all of your labor. You're going to for all of your labor. It's a crop. Like, think about it. You're planting the seed, you're watering it. Sometimes you have to pick up the weeds because things happen. Sometimes something will come and eat your crop, but it's always going to grow and it's going to be delicious and it's going to be great. Just hold on. It's coming. Use my
timing.
Yes, use my life as a promise.
Yes. So, yes, as you say, use your life. Let everybody know how they can find you. You told me some good news when we spoke on the phone about January. You offer group counseling, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. So
yes, and you have something coming up in January. So let everybody know how they can find you, how they can sign up, because we're on a wellness journey. It's a lot of people are becoming awakened and being more aware. I feel like 2020, although it was very it was a little depressing because we weren't able to live our lives, but in the same notion, that down feeling also had a blessing to it, a blessing in it, you know, where some people are able to awaken within themselves, deal with these problems that they had that they didn't even know that they were carrying because they were so busy, you know, traveling, doing whatever, living life. So, you know, how can they find you? Like 2021, I'm pretty sure I know my goals. I'm trying to be as healthy, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically healthy as possible, because I know that's going to bring me longevity in my life. It's going to bring me peace. It's going to bring me money. It's going to bring me all the resources that I need once I know that I am a vessel and I'm open and I'm happy and able to receive. So let everybody know how they can find you and sign up, because I'm signing up, guys. So let us know.
So you can follow me on BriasCorner. And that's BriasCorner. And a lot of times I list things in my stories or different things that I'm doing. I team up with Purpose Joy, who's one of my good friends. She's also a therapist, and we do a self-care group. So normally we've been doing it for free. But now we are it's just going to be a small fee, and it's going to be a 6-week course. And honestly, everybody who's ever been in our course, we've done 2 so far, has gained so much. We've seen the growth. So we're so excited to bring it back in January to start the new year. And then so we'll just be doing them in 6-week increments. So January to February, and then so on and so forth. And so we'll also be bringing some other different kind of classes, like maybe career building or other things. Just what you guys want, really. But I know our first one will be the self-care, because self-care is just so important for so many different things. And also you can go to BriasCorner.com, which is why I have a lot of information as well, to bring you guys. So please hit me up in my DMs. I'm always available to talk. Go to BriasCorner.com and all the other good stuff. And I look forward to hearing from you guys, honestly.
Give me 1 second. I'm actually writing out
For the ones that are still here,
so they can see. Yes. Thank you so much, Bria. I enjoyed this chat. I'm definitely going to give you a call. We're going to talk a little bit more off the live. But thank you so much for joining me. I'm so happy that we had this conversation. I got some gems from you.
Yay, I'm happy.
I'm ready to balance my life. I'm ready to fight that emotion, then make awareness and be more mindful. And I look forward to your posts and your content. You posted something before we went on live that I wanted to discuss, but I read it pretty quickly, so we'll discuss it maybe another time. Well, hopefully another time. We will definitely chat again. Yes, thank you so much, Brie. Thank you. Anybody have any questions before we end the live? Any questions about balancing into 2021? Any questions you had with regards to what we were talking about? For the people that's still here, just give it a second. Oh, I'm reading the comments. Yeah, I wasn't the only person. You dropped some gems, girl. We have Poland in the building. Okay. Hey, Poland. All right. I guess not. So, yes, thank you for joining us, Trey Travel. Thank you so much, Bria. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. And I hope you have an amazing week.
Yes, you too, girl.
We will chat soon, love.
Bye.